live is, well, really, I was trying to send my wife a voice message, and I'm very long winded, so, you know, it wouldn't let me send something so big. Sorry, I'm distracted because I can't believe fixing to do this. Anyways, um, I thought, you know what, fuck it. This is a thing that happens in a lot of relationships, and I think that it might help somebody one day. Maybe if I would have heard this, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in. So here goes. Um, my wife is leaving me. She's got her place rented, and she's got the kids with her, and she's moving stuff out. And I'm here. We're cordial. We're not talking about never being together. It's just for whatever reason she thinks this is the best thing for her. She says that she can't do the job she wants to do around me, and and it's constantly, like, well, first of all, that's hard for me because I'm like a one woman type dude. You know what I'm saying? That we got together in high school, and we've had times apart and stuff, but like, I was raised by a single father. My mom left. She had problems. We're cool. It's just that I never bonded with her like that. And when I got with my wife, um, I think that I think I got that bond that I was supposed to get as a baby. I think it's what it is. Because it's the only thing that makes sense, because she's just like, I can be objective and say that I'm probably too into her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been together 26 years, and she is the most beautiful, sexiest. Like I'm attracted to her like I was when I was a teenager still. And I don't see that in a lot of people. And we had an easy time, and she certainly doesn't feel the same way about me. I've learned a lot from her. She's a brilliant person. Um, I don't know if anybody knows personality stuff, but she's an INFJ. She's very, very good at pattern recognition, and she can like read rooms very well. She knows what good paths are because she's got a very good understanding of what the public sees and what the public thinks is right and wrong. Now, she was raised by a single mother mostly, and we got together in high school, and it was intense. And I believe that when they talk about, your person or whatever completes you or whatever, it really is that way. So I've been on this journey for about 5 years studying all these different doctrines, or like different studies, like 16 personalities, and the MBTI, fucking numerology, fucking, just like crazy shit that most people won't bat an eye out. But I'm just open minded. I ain't saying nothing's real. I ain't saying it's not. I'm saying that I ain't gonna tell you the earth is round until I've been up high enough to look down and see it myself. Because for whatever reason, that's just the way I am. My wife is wired different than that. And I love her for it because she's helped me see a lot of blind spots. Um, the thing about it is where where I'm raised by a dad that didn't give me like, I didn't have like motherly love. A father's love is different. A father's love will whoop you because he knows if he doesn't, later on it's gonna fuck you up. Like you're gonna be a brat or something. You might get in trouble. But a mother wants you to feel better in the moment. And they're both valuable. They're both valuable. They're equally valuable. But I didn't get the mothers in the beginning of my childhood, and she didn't get the fathers apparently at all. Because neither one of us know how to be a husband and wife. Now, to be fair, she's a great wife, but she treated me like she was like I was like she done the things for me that, like, like filled out paperwork. Like, we've been together since we were 16, and she done the things that I felt uncomfortable, or I'd feel anxiety for having, right? And what happens then is like, and I've been listening to a lot of videos and looking into this. The men kind of like turn into like big children, you know, like, and it's true, it happens. You know, I say I was a mature kid up until fucking 2 years ago. And that being said, a mature kid will clean up after himself. He will take care of himself. He will not hurt people and take from people. But I'm a husband and a father, and that's different. A mature kid will think about himself, and not just that I'm selfish. I don't want to hurt them, so I'm gonna keep away from them. Where a father will go over there and tell them something that's gonna make his day hard, but it was the truth and it's out of love. You get what I'm saying? A father's love. This is the way I say it. I tried to get my oldest boy to play sports. I tried to live through him, I guess you would say. I wanted to control it. And I wanted it for him, but because I knew it, I thought he should do it the way I think. And I learned from that. And my youngest boy is everything that I tried to make Jacob. But it was because I let go and wait for him to come ask me. That's the difference. Like a mother wants to get in there and steer everything, and a dad wants to be useful. He wants to be asked for help. He wants them to come and get him when he's needed. Because my dad didn't do a lot for me, but if I needed him, he'd be there. And he's the only one that's ever done that. And he's the only one that ever just wanted me around for me. I didn't do nothing for him. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like he accepted me is what I'm trying to say. He didn't try to make me do anything. And I used to think that was bad because I needed habits, but actually, like, it felt really good to know that I could just be myself. You know, like, just be. And I didn't know that not everybody had that, you know? I didn't know that, like, that's actually quite unusual. And that's how I father. I'm a little more hands on. I'm a little more involved. And my dad might have done it too, but I'm spying on everybody in my family. I want to know where they're at all the time. And it's not because I want to control them. It's because if something happens, I want to be able to be there. I want to make sure, you know, that I can protect them the best I can. That's the truth. Um, Me and my wife have had communication issues since we hit a certain level, I think, intellectually. And the thing that I remember that I made a video, I think, a long time ago about Babel. And I thought that day when I understood that the words we use don't mean the same thing for everybody. And that's simple, obviously, but it goes so much deeper than that. You know, right and wrong, good and bad. You know, like, I bet a bunch of husbands can agree with this. You know, the wife comes in and is like, I don't want this. I want something better. Or I want, you know, or whatever, right? She said, I need help. Well, I'll go help. I'll be doing the dishes and laundry. And the man's thinking, the house is a disaster, but I'm doing this and this helps. But to her, it doesn't, like, it's the feeling she has, right? She can't feel relaxed if it doesn't matter if I do the dishes because the other stuff's messed up or whatever, you know. And I spent a year doing shit, and I'm like, I've done more than I've ever done, and we've been together 26 years, and she says I ain't done shit. And I realized that there's like a whole nother truth that we're not open with. We don't say. You know what I'm saying? I never had the concept in my head, but I've lied to my wife. I've been on drugs, and I'm not ashamed of it. I feel like they're tools. I use them, but I'm ashamed of lying. I'm ashamed of not being upfront in the first place to where she can see that it's not what she thinks it is, right? Because as I said in the beginning, she's an infj. It's not that she necessarily agrees with it, but she like follows the rules, you know. And I come from a different outlook. What makes good and bad to me is that very subjective. Um, you know, and for so long it's I've been hearing things like, when it gets better, we'll be this, or when it, you know, it's like words like more and better and things. It's like, what does that even fucking mean? You know, and nobody taught us how to be married. Both of our parents were split up. All our aunts and uncles. I've never even seen what a husband's supposed to be like. So this whole time I've basically been trying to be her boyfriend from high school, and not understanding why, you know, like things are the way they are. And she rented a house and left me, took the kids, and now she complained a lot about things that I wasn't doing fast enough, or I guess better. And I knew she lost a lot of trust, but I didn't. When you get bitched at a lot, it just kind of becomes normal, and you don't take it as serious. And then when they finally do pull the cord, you're like, "What the fuck?" Now, some could say you get what you deserve, and I'm not gonna get into that. What I'm gonna say is, if we would have said in the beginning, if she would have said, I want to maintain this certain lifestyle or I'm gone, we would have maintained that lifestyle. But her always using more and better, and it was like, it was all these words that didn't really say what it was. Like, you know, if you're worried about money, how much do you need to not worry anymore? Because I don't worry about money. Like, if I have money and I ain't got nothing to pay that day, and I'm gonna spend it. If I'm out, I'm gonna spend it. If I see something I want, I don't. It just, I never had it. Never had it. Uh, never really, never really wanted a lot of money, you know. And 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 I learned that it's it's security for her, or she feels like it is. But see, men are a little bit different. At least the ones I know. I don't feel secure just because I have money. Um, because, you know, if my kids are hungry, I'd cut my neighbor's throat in a heartbeat to feed my kids. And I think most men deep down would agree, if that's what it took to feed your kids, if it's us or them, you know, we're gonna do what we gotta do. Women don't think like that, and so she's thinking we gotta have all these things in order to be secure so she can relax. Now that's fair, and I just didn't know. I didn't know it. I didn't know, because when I'm, you know, mowing the yard or doing laundry and cleaning up around the house, trying to help out, I'm thinking that's what the problem was. And when it doesn't help, it fucking hurts my fucking feelings, you know. And the whole point of me is, this interaction just happened where she called my sister and nephew to come help her move a washer and dryer, and I'm here. And I said, why'd you do that? You know? And what I tried to explain to her is, that's a problem. I know you don't feel like you want to ask me. You don't want to deal with whatever I might have to say about it. But when you do that to a man, when a wife says, I don't need you, we start losing our purpose. We're going to go into like a child like thing. I'm telling you, because look, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it like, I should be out there doing my own thing then, or having hobbies or whatever. But that's not what I want. I want to be a family man. I become more of a person with my wife, and she feels that she's less of a person with me. Does that make sense? Like her identity. Um, and and I got to looking into it, and I think this is the Adam and Eve thing, right? Adam come from dirt, from nothing. So he's afraid of being nothing. He wants purpose. So that's what we men generally, we want to be useful. And I'm sure women do too. But in your wiring to nest and feel safe, you know, you need some kind of security. And that's why it's important to learn how to communicate with each other, which is the whole point of this. Because, oh yeah, Eve come from the rib, so she just wants to be part of the group, the whole. And that's my wife, right? She doesn't care or judge people, but she doesn't want to be seen as messy or sloppy because she has this thing that makes her feel unsafe if she doesn't fit in. And that's weird to me because my dad was a little, he's a little different. When he raised me on like a disability check, we lived out in a trailer in the woods, man, and we didn't have a lot of stuff to do during the day. So I had my time to become who I am and 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 think that that's okay. I thought everybody was like me, you know. Uh, I understand playing a role in public and kind of like manipulations and stuff, but I'm an honest person. Like I want to help. I want to do good. I love my family. I love my wife. I done drugs, most of my adult life, and it's not that it's really scary to think to not be with drugs or whatever. But it's just like when I'm tired or fucking feeling this way, and this thing right here, like makes that okay, and I go do what I gotta do. Which if that was all it was, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem. But there's other consequences and things. But it's fucking tough. Do I have clothes? Yeah, I have clothes. It's hot. It's hot here in Tennessee, boy. And like I said, you know, fuck, hell, 20 years ago, everybody ran around without a shirt on, or men did. You got me distracted, man. That fucking, it made me forget what I was doing or saying. I thought I would record this and say this because we're all out there. We're all out there fighting fights and arguing and being on sides and all this stuff. And the truth is that everything that you think right now is not what you're going to know in 10 years when you've grown and you've matured or immatured. You're going to see it differently. And because of that, it's not what you think it is. Okay. That to me that means right there, that's an obvious thing. That means my opinion and your opinion don't really fucking matter. I don't need you to know my opinion. I love to talk to people about who I am if they want to know or what I think. I think a lot of weird shit. I think about a lot of stuff. But the truth of the matter is how you see the world, who you're fighting against, what you're even fighting for. You got to really fucking understand that every bit of where you're at is your responsibility. Our problem is we get into thinking about fault. Whose fault is it, good or bad? Nobody wants to be the one to blame. And as I said before, I was a fucking mature kid until 40. I didn't look at our lifestyle as my fault or my responsibility. I looked at it, as my responsibility to go to work, pay bills. But if they want this, they got to go over and do it themselves. And my wife, being wired differently in her personality, she's opposite. She thinks that every fault or everything that isn't what quote unquote people would call right or wrong, she takes that on as her responsibility. And it's just amazing how we fit together that way, where it's like as long as we are good, we can be a superhero combined. But if we're emotional and we start reacting, we won't get along with nothing because, you know, uh, say we're putting a fucking dresser or something together. I don't pull it out, make it all neat, read the instructions. I don't do that, man. I just take the pieces out and start putting it together. Because going through all that other stuff always kind of made me anxious. And see, before she would have went somewhere else or just watched me do it and said, oh, or whatever. Now it seems like she's got this thing to where she wants to be super autonomous or independent or whatever it is that they're trying to make women be today. And dude, look, I said I started this video to say this. I want a person to be genuine and I want to be wanted. I want my friends to want me in their life. I want my kids to want me in their life. But I don't want to have to fucking act for you or hit a certain line for you to want me. But I'll accept that. If you have to have a certain kind of life, that's fine. But you got to be very clear on what that is, because if not, I will fucking be all over this place. You ever see it? Does that make sense to anybody? Can anybody understand that? Like, any men ever have a fucking problem like that? Like, it's like as soon as me or her emotions get kind of triggered, it's like nothing can be said. Nothing can be brought in. It's like we're 8 years old or 5 years old or whenever that fucking trauma happened that made us think that we needed to be defensive. It's not that fucking difficult, to be honest. But there is a whole other world of truth that we're not saying. And it's things like little things that we'd be embarrassed to say maybe from childhood we forgot about, or like, you see it all the time. You see people bullshitting each other. Or I think I see it. Like two kids bragging about all this stuff they don't have, but they say they do, Everybody, all the adults around them know they're socializing, right? That never stops. We're doing it still, guys. I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm doing it. I assume I am, and I don't know it. But I don't really fucking talk to nobody. I don't have no friends. I mean, not many. I mean, I have people that I go hang with for whatever. We got something in common on that. But it's just like it's hard to just go in and pretend this role and talk about these things. I like to talk about some things, but it's like, wait a minute, if you want that, then that's it. That's your choice. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. I can't just go jump over the fucking stop sign. I'm not saying that anything's possible, but I'm saying my wife is telling me she can't do something around me because of her emotions grabbing her and making her do all this. But on the other flip side, expecting me to be able to just fucking quit drugs, which are an emotional reaction most of the time, or wouldn't have been on the fucking things. They're not the fucking problem. They're a symptom of the problem. You know what I'm saying? And she's smart enough to understand that. But she thinks that I ought to be able to quit this and just not snap at the kids when they're fucking back talking their dad. Like, I'm not a mean dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably way too lenient. But because of mine and my wife's beef, like if I raise my voice, she's fucking right in there in front of them, jumping my ass, and then wondering why the kids don't respect me. And that's all my responsibility and fault, because I didn't make her respect me. Or at least, you can't make nobody respect you, but you can demand. You don't have to be around people that don't. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, I was always so scared of being abandoned. I just didn't do that. And then when you find it out, what do? You over fucking compensate. You know what I mean? You're an asshole or something. It's like once you know all this, you think, well, shit, two people know all that. They ought to be fine, because they ought to be able to stop and sit down and do it. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, I'll walk away for 30 seconds, come back, and I'm not mad. I want to fix the problem, but I won't see her for the rest of the day, I don't know what to do. She wants me to go to rehab for a year for something that I don't spend money on. I quit right now. I don't have to have it. I'll feel like crap tomorrow. Next day, I'll be fine after that. But a year? That's crazy. Especially last time I went to rehab, they hired me. Like I ain't saying, I'm just saying it's like I learned it. I learned it all, and it made a lot of sense. But they ain't even got the whole picture. And Boy, she'd be pissed if she finds out I put this on the internet. I have no memory on my phone to record this thought, so I figured I'd just do it live. That's what I do, anyways. I just do it live, and probably nobody will be on here. And who is that? Nat Socialist. This motherfucker. He's a damn piece, ain't he? Nazi symbol. I gotta find out who that is. I don't know no Nazis, but that's a quick way to get people fucked off. That's actually clever. If that is the truth, you just get a fucking profile and then put a bunch of Nazi shit on it, and then like people you don't like, you just go fucking talk to them like you know them. Good to see you again. I mean, I might know this motherfucker now. I know some people, but you know, I don't feel like does it. I'm scatterbrained, and I kind of like feel like ADD. I think I've always been like that. I'm a procrastinator, but do I seem like I don't have the ability to discern reality? Like I told her, I love you. Um, I give you space, time, whatever you want, but I need you to say it, what you need out of me, because, and that might be the problem. Maybe she wants me to just do things, but I do. Like I go to work. If she needs something, I try to get it. I don't know what it is, women. I don't know what it is. I don't think you guys know what you want. I mean, what do you guys want? Like, what do you guys? What do you guys think is so great about being a guy? For fucking Christ's sake, we ran a construction thing and remodeled houses in Paris, and I'd done that, and we were good. And she quit her job and kind of taught her what little I knew about what it does, and now she's better than any fucking man I've ever seen at it. And she's great at that, and that's an asset. But it's also, when you're good at something, you're not going to be good at something else. You got to remember that it's polarity. It's nature. There's no getting around it. You can't be great at everything. You can't be very empathetic and then also turn around and use your logical brain like it's something else. You know what I mean? Like, we all got detriments. We all got things that we are blind spots, and that's what I believe God talks about when he puts you with your person, because her blind spots is the overall big fucking picture, where mine is the little minuscule details, and we're flip flopped when you look at our brain cognitive traits. Like what I do first is I go to my creative side, and then I go to my logical side. For instance, there's four main ones that everybody's got, and hers is different. She goes to feeling, and then she goes to thinking. And the difference between that is a fucking light years, because if you've been somebody that's been through some hard times as a kid, you're gonna feel scared. You're gonna feel and be able to see anything's coming down the road for miles away. She can see. The problem with that is at some point you hit an age where you're repeating it. You're not living it no more. And I did this. She does this. Sure, everybody's gonna do it, because my mom left, so I fucking bugged my wife these past couple years enough to where she left, I guess. And I was like, "Are you leaving?" I mean, what's the problem? And it was all because I didn't feel like she needed me, and she doesn't. She doesn't. And you know what? That's fine if that's the way she wants, but she doesn't say that. She says she does. And I don't know how to get it out of you, babe. I know that I don't come with something and assert something if I don't have evidence of it. So when I've been hearing words for a year, this chaos, all this, this is what's wrong. What is this? This is what I've been saying. What is this? What are you saying? You're saying that I live in a different reality. What the fuck does any of that mean? What would y'all think? What does that mean? What does it mean to live in a different reality? Look, I know this. If I throw that ball up in the air, it's going to fucking come down. That happens in both of our realities. So let's work with that instead of worrying about right and wrong and what's the best thing and whose fault it is. It's like as soon as we go into that, we're in our kid selves, we're self centered. When we're emotional, we're self centered. Woe is me, you did this. And when in my mind, I just grew into a man yesterday or a year ago. I realized that it doesn't matter how I feel about it because I got to still get up and do the same thing tomorrow. That's the honorable thing to do. No, I don't feel like going to work. You know, it's kind of like a thing. Now I think about it because I don't feel like doing a lot of the things I do, but I want to because I'm needed. She needs me to do it, but she hasn't. She won't let me. She will if I don't do it just perfect. She'll fucking quit asking me or go get somebody else to do it or something. And it's like, wait a minute here. You're not gonna fucking find a whole lot of people that can do just like circles around me like cognitively. Like I can, man, I've moved stuff, worked construction, ran equipment. Like I've done a lot of kind of jobs, and I'm quick at learning chemical stuff. Fucking, I was an electrician, and electrical inspector at a company, and I've done a lot of different things. And I understand processes and concepts and stuff. I just don't care if I dent the dryer. It's 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 a it's a cheap as you can find dryer. But because I'm bumping this into the wall, now you're jumping my ass. Now we're fighting. That's the kind of shit that happens when you ain't honest inside. Fuck, I don't know. I had a point and I fucking read that comment and it really fucking threw me off threw me off of the lane I was on. I wish I had some weed. Close. What am I doing? See, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's one thing to mess with people, like if you're just playing around. To like, what are you doing? Who are you? And why are you even fucking talking to me? To ask me what I'm doing. And the other person's like, do I have clothes on? Yeah. I mean, I got some shorts on. Like, why are we talking about that? Like that's a fucking thing I'm talking about. Everybody's a goddamn kid. They're only thinking, like, when I flip on a video, I'm listening to the video. What's going on? Like, right? I'm not looking around to judge the person. I'm not saying, oh, look at that piece of shit. Look at that. Oh, look at him. I bet he got a small dick. Yeah, look at him. I don't get that. That's kid shit. That you're a child. Because the child is always trying to fucking make themselves feel better by judging other people and all this shit. And man, it's cool, man, or whatever. It's cool to play or joke or whatever. I don't give a fuck what y'all say on there. I rarely read them because most of the time I'm just doing this so I can record the thought. And obviously I don't care much about the way it looks. If I did, I should. I should because a lot of the stuff that I'm just now learning, people don't know. Not the people around me. It will help somebody. It will help somebody. But see, that's where my wife comes in because she's not on things. She's not here to say, hey, it would help a lot more people if you would put a guy and sit down and fucking and stay on one thing at a time and all this. That's what she's for. She helps me with that. And you know what I help her with? Calm the fuck down. The world's not falling. The kids are okay. They're good kids. We've done a lot this summer. Like, but when there's no trust, you don't believe that. And I ain't going to say that I don't deserve to be trusted because I've lied to her about one thing. And, and, and I explained why. Because I was scared if she knew that she would leave. And that's the child's way of thinking. We say it's because we don't want to hurt them, and I don't want to hurt them. But I don't want to lose her. So she's leaving me though, and she said the other day, "You can't know how much I love you." And I said, "Just stop there." I said, "I want you to love me, so I'm glad you love me, but it means dick, honestly. Love, love doesn't mean nothing to the husband or the father, because what we need is to be able to have space in your life. I need to have your time. I need to have your respect. Love, you're loving me and then like leaving me. You see what I'm saying? That's like putting down a dog and crying because but he was sick or whatever. I ain't sick. I want love to be loved, but love is a feeling and it comes and goes. Respect is what you do when you don't feel like it. I'm gonna respect you anyways because I want to respect you and I should. We can get into these things and tell ourselves that that person don't deserve it or they got to earn it. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you think that people got to earn it, I mean, they might have to earn it back. But respect ain't for them. It's for the subject. It's for me. Like, I respect you for me because, well, for one, I look past all the fucking shit you do that pisses me off. And two, I know that it's not personal like it is, like we take it. And knowing that, I can't be mad at nobody. I'm I don't like some fucking ideologies, but I don't care what they do. That's their business. And I don't get why people are like this these days. Everybody's so judgy of the other person, I grew up with people that said, they used to say this all the time, sending all our money over there to the fucking Arabs and yada yada. And then it's the other side is like, giving all them people them food stamps. Now I gotta work. They ain't gotta work. I gotta work. And I get the arguments, people. Trust me, I do. But let me explain something to you, because I done that. I went down a dive on this. Money don't work like that. Don't work. That's not how money works. You think it is because you think there's only a limited amount, and you think that if they get some, that means that's not how it works. Okay. I'll explain if somebody wants to know, but that's not how it works. It's not even close. Matter of fact, we've not paid any of our taxes. And when I say we, I mean anybody alive. We've paid taxes that were due way before then. And my grandkids, we're spending my grandkids' money right now. You know what I'm saying? That's like, money doesn't work like that. So when you get mad because they're not taking care of their veterans, but they're giving people businesses to come over here, understand what money is, and you'll see why that happens. And if you have a problem with why people ain't getting taken care of, go take care of them. Don't fuck. That's the problem. If you was out there taking care of them, you wouldn't be thinking about the reason is this or that, right? Does that make sense? Has anybody ever heard that about people that get food stamps or welfare or help? I used to deliver commodities at a place, and people pull up in Cadillacs, and everybody be like, "How you got a Cadillac? I got getting here free food." No. They probably got that Cadillac because they do things like get the free food. You know what I mean? But we're out here pointing the blame at each other, fighting racism, gays, blacks, white, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm redheaded, poor, and from a fucking country. My only friends were black people. But I'm from a country, I mean, I got other friends, but like when I was first at school and I didn't know nobody, that's who I hung out with. The country people, there are some like that, but people aren't like that. But yet, if you would have fucking turned the TV on a few years back, you would have thought fucking South was fucking fixing to rise or something. Because all the fucking decent Southern people were sitting around saying, "Oh, this is bullshit." Because we grew up with people. You know what I'm saying? My dad's generation, same thing. They had black friends. It's all fucking horse shit to get us to fight. And the thing of it is, it used to be kind of against it, but it's got to happen for it to exist. For you to exist, you got to have your opposite, or you wouldn't exist. You'd be something different without your opposite, right? It's polarity. My wife is my opposite, but she's trying to make all the decisions, and her nervous system can't handle it. She won't be in her feminine, she'll be in her masculine all the time, and she's not built for that, right? Now, if I got any fucking women, what do they call them? The women's rights people, right? Don't take offense to that, because the fact is I'm gonna beat up most women in a fight. That doesn't make me more powerful. Like, men are gonna run certain aspects of the world forever. That doesn't mean shit. Like, you guys give life and you fucking grow it in your stomachs, man. Like, how, like, men that I talk to, when we hear that shit, we're like, what the fuck is, and what it is this money off our fucking emotions, and they teach us that life is unfair. And I'd say that yes, it is, and it should be, and it cannot not be. But what is fair? It depends on what you're using to measure, and it depends on who it is. Everything is so subjective, and there's not a lot of fucking facts, not a lot of truths. Truth changes, it goes up and down. Sometimes the earth is round, sometimes it's flat. Sometimes, fuck, I ain't gotta explain that. It's pretty simple. Does anybody understand anything I'm saying? Homeless history eggs. History eggs. I don't know any of y'all, I don't guess. Johan. That's fucking hilarious. I got a couple fucking white supremacists on here. If something was happening to me, I do this for a record, man, so people know what I was thinking, and it doesn't really matter. But I don't have nobody to talk to, and I miss my fucking family, and it keeps me from fucking being sad.